believes on muta. No other Muslims believe that. In fact,
Speak Arabic a little bit,
Shia-
Abraham. Speak Arabic a little bit.
Sorry?
Do you speak Arabic?
No, I know Quranic Arabic.
You know
Right?
Quranic
When,
Arabic?
example, you
Do you
give
know
me...
Dr. Uthman al-Khamis? Uthman al-Khamis?
No.
So he's a doctor in Sharia, and usually people. He's a modern scholar.
إبراهيم ملك يمين. ما هو زواج ملك اليمين؟ وكيف أن نحصل على الملك؟ ما في شيء اسمه زواج ملك اليمين. ما في شيء اسمه زواج ملك اليمين. في ملك يمين لكن ليس زواجا.
You hear what he said? He said someone was asking him, "Is there mulk yamin, right-hand possessed marriage?" He said, "No, there is no such a thing as marrying your right-hand possessed. Either it's your wife or your right-hand possessed."
Yes, now I agree that there is scholars who said that, but there's many who didn't say that also, you know.
Yeah, because in Al-Mu'minun verse 1 and 2 it says, "Those who are safeguarding their private part except from their wives and their right-hand possessed." If the verse really is talking about wives, why they divide them into two categories, the wives and the right-hand possessed?
Because of the nature
they are talking about and again the verse 424, the autas slaves.
Okay, let's focus on
that's a scandal. This verse here is a scandal, a big scandal in Islam, in Quran. Married woman, you cannot marry a married woman as a start.
Now
you cannot. So these women are muhsanat, are married.
No.
How are you gonna marry a married woman?
It's saying prohibited for men are married women, right? Women already married, except woman of the right hand, right? So what is it saying? It's saying that you are not allowed to marry free women, right? But you're allowed to marry captives who are married.
Where is free woman here? Where does it mention free woman?
That's the distinction between the free woman and the captive woman.
No, here it says al-muhsanat, and free women are not mentioned at all. It said al-muhsanat, married women, except who? Except your right hand possessed. And even when you go to the translation, the English translation, they say war captives, slaves.
It's saying prohibited for you in marriage is all women except woman of the right hand.
No,
so
married woman. What is al-muhsanat?
Hello?
What is the definition of al-muhsanat in Islam?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah. Abraham, I was asking you, what is the definition of al-muhsanat? Al-muhsanat in Islam. You're having a call. I believe I have to sing a little bit. Today, the right hand possessed took us to. I feel like I took a time machine to the 7th century. I feel like I am in the 7th century right now. Let's talk about slavery.
You know, I think...
Abraham, I'm sorry, I think you got a call. I was asking you, what is the Islamic definition of al-muhsanat?
Okay, before I say, I was thinking, you know, maybe we should get women together and debate verses of what it means instead of attacking each other on religion.
We are not attacking each other. We're having a good discussion. I think you are giving your perspective as per different resources or different scholars, which is fine. But I will also go with the ijma' al-ummah, ijma' al-salaf, what the salaf, the Sunni salaf agrees on. And they know what right hand possessed mean. They know what idribuhun mean. So
but
it's not up to me.
Many of the scholars of the Salaf didn't agree on that.
There is an agreement.
No, there is no agreement.
There is what we call ijma'. And you know what ijma' means.
You know, when people say there's ijma', there is no ijma'. Scholars have always debated, especially on the verse 434 and the captives verse.
Yeah, because
You,
these are the
this
most
is literally,
embarrassing things. These are the
yes,
most
but
embarrassing
but
things.
you have to understand it's what they debated. Now you taking the opinion of what the worst opinion that you basically could have.
It's not the worst opinion. Ibn Kathir is not the worst opinion. Al-Tabari is not the worst one.
But
Al-Sa'di is not the worst one.
if
Al-Jalalain
you
is not the worst
see
one.
the tafsir of Ibn Kathir,
Ibn
he said,
Taymiyyah is the worst one? Come
and
on
Ibn
now.
Taymiyyah, scholars were even debating if his words were preserved. If his words were preserved.
If I mention 7 to 10 scholars, Muslim scholars, that the Salaf, the Sunni follows,
I can give you even
you
three
Abraham,
scholars.
I think you do have to go and debate these definitions with the Sunni, not me, because I know what they say. I know what the
I'm not
tafsir says.
debating you with it, right? It's clear that you chose which way you want to believe. I'm only here to tell you, right? And also, Muhsanat, I know means chaste woman, right? But I'm here to tell you that there were always different opinions, and when you debate Muslim people to say, but why are you believing in this religion because of verse 434 and of slaves? When people believe in Islam, they're not even thinking of those verses. They know it's controversial verses, and they put it behind them and say, Allahu alam, Allah knows best.
So
Because
Allah make mistakes. Allah, all-knowing, almighty, gonna include verses that are problematic in Quran, though Quran is timeless.
So it's your opinion that it's problematic in a sense because now
it's
everyone's
problematic
debating.
because it's harmful.
But you took the interpretation that is harmful. There's interpretations that
people
is
practice
not
this
harmful.
for 1,400 years. What are you talking about? Only after the UN said force them and push Saudi, like slavery don't practice it. Then they stop. Though in Mauritania it's still a big problem. In other regions in the Middle East it's still a problem.
But
Child marriage is still practiced.
Follow the Quran and they doing the slavery. It's not a religious thing, right? This thing is an interpretational thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Abraham, thank you.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say something also because I think I heard something beforehand.
I have a question.
Is that like my best friend, right? She gets her menstrual cycle once every 4 months. I only got my menstrual cycle when I was 22 years old, right? So I think you were talking about that other verse 65, of marrying girls. There is also debate on that verse to say that the woman spoken about there is who lost expectations of periods, like my friend, who knows she only gets it every 4 months. So if she were to be divorced, she would spend her iddat 3 months, and she would not expect to get her period, and she would have already finished her period, her iddah. Sorry.
But this is look. Right now we are talking about 5 different issues. We already talked about 5 different things. I do
see that your issue is a lot with the women's those topics, right? Am I correct?
Because Islam aim is to control you as a woman and make you a follower and not ask for anything. A man can do whatever he wants, and you as a woman need just to be grateful and obey Allah and obey your husband, obey your father.
In fact, the Quran doesn't tell me anywhere to obey my father. It says to be dutiful to your parents. The Quran does not teach to obey anyone except Allah, not even the husband, right? You can get hadiths to support that, yes. But you have to be dutiful to your parents. Obedience is only to God. We all have free will to do as we choose, right?
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, there is. If you say
you cannot marry without your... Yeah, sure.
I'm just trying to understand Abraham so much. Which country you are from originally?
So originally I'm from South Africa. And at the moment I'm in Qatar.
Okay. Since Islam is so great, I can challenge you. I will pay the tickets for me and you. Let's go to one what I'm talking about, Islamic country. They obey Islamic rules, and you can guarantee me a free speech, and you can guarantee me my safety. Can you do that for me?
Come to Qatar.
I'm not talking about Qatar.
Oh no, not Qatar. Oh no.
Or Dubai. No. I'm talking about like Iran. Let's go to Iran together. I'm not gonna wear hijab. Could they let me in? First of all,
I don't know. To be honest, I haven't.
No, I'm gonna tell you no. They're gonna tell me since the beginning how I have to be dressed. Okay, I have to cover. And where Iranian women come to my country, we don't tell them anything. They are welcome the way how they are, because we are peaceful ones. But when I come to your country, to go to those countries, I have to obey rules which I don't even believe on. So I'm just trying to understand when you said, "Whoa, my father doesn't have no rights to tell me this and that." That's not true at all in Islam. I grew up in Muslim family, so that's not true.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't the Iranian woman were kind of counteracting that, right? They were trying to fight the government about that.
Yeah, because they got enough of the government oppressing them, controlling them. The woman, one of them got unalived, one of them got beaten and unalived because of the hijab. So it's like forcing and controlling and manipulation in many levels.
Okay, so I don't agree with that, right? The countries that I've been to, that wouldn't happen. I must actually educate myself on what's going on in Iran, maybe. So there is still, like, there is not any relation to Islam or a representation on Islam. You still need to give me proof from the Quran if you saying now.
I mean, look, Abraham, we all know that the sources of Sharia is Quran, Hadith, and scholars. If you only want to go with Islam, hold on. If you want to only go with Islam and modern scholars, or you're a Quranist. If you want to actually say that you are from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, you are Sunni, there are clear explanations and clear scholars that you follow, hadiths you follow. No, you're a Quranist, that's your thing. I respect that. That's totally fine.
I am not Quranist
you want to only refer to, well, I refer to the Muslim scholars, the Sunni. You don't disagree with them, that's your thing. It's not my problem.
I'm just saying, the Sunni scholars themselves, amongst themselves, debated. Many Sunni scholars also teach that you now can't go unalive someone because they're not wearing hijab. I don't know any Sunni scholar myself, and I grew up in a Sunni, environment that would say that even.
Yeah, I go with the ijma', Abraham.
But the ijma' is not even saying that.
To close this, I go with the ijma'. I don't justify.
And also,
I don't justify beating women, and I don't advise you to do that yourself. I don't advise you to justify beating women, even under the circumstances of cheating or being infidel to your husband. That's absolutely wrong. If a husband think that his wife is having an affair, divorce her, take her to court, but do not act on it and beat her or in any way. And I still, no matter what, the verse is clear. Why would Allah use the word idribuhun and give this power to the husband? The husband specifically. The woman cannot do the same. The Quran doesn't say anything about the woman. The only thing he says, you can divorce him, etc., etc. But anyway, Abraham, thank you for being here. But lashing
is for men too. It's written in there. Yeah. This is the three.
Yeah, that's for both of them, and there should be witnesses, 4 witnesses, and the 4 witnesses need to see the sexual act happening. Al-mirwat fil makhala. Otherwise, you will be lashed, 80 lashes. Like how ridiculous this law is. Anyway, thank you. I have to go to Lola. Thank you, Abraham.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Walaikum salam. Lola?
Hi.
I'm sorry if I'm saying your name.
No, that's correct. Yeah. So sorry it happened earlier. I had a call and it messed up my microphone. I don't know what happened with it.
It's all right.
So I mentioned what the challenges that I saw with the Abrahamic faiths, and the thing that is giving me some pause is that I've also seen a family member look at the scientific evidence in the Quran and say this is incorrect, and decide to become completely atheist. So this family member is a narcissist. He is someone who, while he was Muslim, was, we'll say, low to medium level abusive, right? And then when he had that feeling that there is no God, there is no punishment for my behavior, outside of what might happen in this world, his behavior became very high level abusive. And the other thing that gives me pause is the violence that we're seeing on social media in the last few months and the amount of people that have joined Islam. And I think it is because people want to believe in a sense of law and order and checks and balances, and they are feeling failed by the domestic laws that we have and the international laws that we have, and they feel like there is a sense of injustice, and this is whether it's in the home or whether it's in internationally. They're feeling that there is a sense of injustice and that we as humans, our laws don't protect us, and they are looking for a sense of justice that might happen that we don't see. So they want to have that faith in God that somebody is going to do something. Somebody is going to punish, even if when I had some small injustices as a child, I was told by both Christian and Muslim family members, they're going to go to hell because it's something that I can't fix. I can't complain. And so the answer is they're going to go to hell. And I think that people need this sense of, there will be justice. Maybe it's not in this moment. Maybe it's not in this life, but it will be later. And I think so I've seen it in both sides, people misbehaving because they think there is no punishment, and people, needing that belief in a higher power to know that justice will be served later. And I just want to hear your opinion about it, because obviously this is the first time that I'm seeing you live, and I'm really interested in the stuff that you're saying. And I want to see what your opinion about it is, about that need, that spiritual need that people have, to have a sense of justice, and what is the sort of alternative answer, if you don't believe in an Abrahamic faith.
Thank you, Lala. My perspective is yes, you're right. People want to believe that justice is gonna be served even after life, especially if they've been victims or they've been subject of abuse or they've been taken advantage of, especially if they have a lot of trauma in their childhood, and they want to believe that because I am spiritual, because I believe in this higher being will make this person who hurt me or hurt my family pay. The reality is that life is not fair and so random, and innocent people can be hurt, and bad people can get away with the bad things that they do. That's the reality of life. And if you don't take initiative and get justice for yourself by speaking out and saying no and taking the person who did you wrong to court or expose them, you will never get justice. Believing in that actually is something that's going to make you quiet and forgive when forgiveness is not needed at all. One of the things that I always tell people, when you forgive, you're not forgiving the criminal or the predator or the person who hurt you, but forgive yourself because it was not your fault. You were just a victim. But people mistake that by saying, oh, I forgive. Why do you forgive someone who's mean and you're going to continue to do this to other people? I think believing in yourself, finding a meaning and a sense of meaning for your life or for life itself is the alternative of spirituality overall. Because then you connect with yourself, be honest, like this is life, I want to enjoy it, I want to explore, I want to speak out, I don't want to feel guilty, feel blamed for anything. This is something that people sometimes get to when they go through therapy for many years. And sometimes it's very hard to tell it to someone who has been hurt or went through trauma, because they are very sensitive, they are very vulnerable. So you cannot actually just throw it on them. Like, life is not fair. Life is so random. And yes, bad people are going to get away with things. And you have to face this reality and like stand and get justice for yourself by talking, by saying that I'm not ashamed. I'm just a victim. This happened to me and I want to talk about it. That's my answer. I think a lot of people may not like it, may say, oh no, Allah, karma, this and that. That's fine if you feel comfortable with it, if people want to feel comfortable with it. But I'm very realistic.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. And it's just a thing that I don't know. I feel like it's happening more now because of that sense of helplessness, like especially in the last few months where people will protest and they will, do everything that they can do. And they're seeing that they are failed by law. So when they see that they are failed by law, they are looking for this other sense. And I've seen people do this with small things, they become complicit and they don't fight, because they feel like someone else is going to take their justice for them. But yeah, it's a very difficult answer to give to someone who really needs to hold on to that hope.
Yeah. Lola, thank you so much. Actually, this is very deep, very deep thoughts, Lola. Deep thoughts and deep questions. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that too.
Yeah. Minus?
Hi, Minus. Yeah.
Minus. Hi. How's it going?
Sorry, I can't stay for long. I just came up to show part of the Quran. I'm an ex-Muslim, now a Christian. I just came up to show part of it. It was mainly for the girl that was here earlier and left, where it literally says you can beat a woman. A lot of Muslims don't even notice when I bring it up, and they accuse me of lying till I make them open their own Quran in their house. So I'm gonna open my camera real quick to show this, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do it, please.
Yeah, you guys can.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it or?
You can go ahead. Yes.
Sorry, one sec. Men are caretakers of women, since Allah has made some of them excel the others, and because of the wealth they have spent, so the righteous women are obedient and guard the property and honor of their husband in their absence with the protection given by Allah. As for women of whom you fear rebellion, convince them and leave them apart in beds and beat them. Then if they obey you, do not seek a way against them. Surely Allah is the highest, greatest. That's the English version. That's the Arabic. It's 434. I just, you can make me small now, sorry. I just came up because of that girl, but she left. So yeah, I just wanted to bring this up. And I'm from Iran. And our women go through a lot, as a lot of you know. There was a girl around 2-3 weeks ago who got 72 lashes for not wearing her hijab properly, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, women do go through a lot, and the reason I personally switched was because nothing in the Quran really aligned with my morals. I do not have an issue with Muslims. I have a lot of Muslim friends. I do have an issue with the scripture. Just wanted to clarify that so I'm not getting called an Islamophobic person. I mean, I don't care, but yeah. And thanks for giving me the chance to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Always welcome to join anytime.
Menas, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it, because when I'm taking Iran like example, that's not a good example of Islam.
Yeah.
And they want to take Albania like an example, and I would just want to tell them that's a big bullshit, because in Albania we do not practice any Islamic laws. You can come in a bikini. We're not going to tell you. We maybe going to look at you, but nobody's going to tell you you're not allowed to enter the country in certain ways.
Right.
So do not mix up, okay?
Yeah.
Because somebody said here, oh, let's go to Albania. I was like, yeah. Ask your princess how she behaved in Islamic war.
Yeah.
If they know their history. So I'm sorry, Minus, but I really love your story and sharing that with us.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that.
And I have another question. Did you live in Iran before?
Yes, but I left when I was pretty young. But I do. My parents went through a lot because of this religion and the government itself. My dad was arrested for a lot of years for protesting. Simply just protesting. So we kind of had to run. We're not there anymore, and I don't think we'll ever go back till the regime changes. But yeah, before I go, I just want to mention something else. There's someone called Adam Apostate. He's also an ex-Muslim. He's Arab. He talks a lot about these stuff in his own lives as well. I was just mentioning, if you guys like to, he can talk more because I can't stay for long. But I appreciate the chance. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, I appreciate you.
you.
I brought him here. Let me take Fatima. Fatima with the AI picture, not Fatima with the Lebanese flag.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
Yeah, so I'd just like to say that, I can understand that people have been hurt through, governments who majority Muslim countries. Like for me personally, I think if you look at the scriptures and understand the way the Prophet ﷺ lived his life, he's actually the prime example of understanding what the Quran is, right? So if other people in this day and age decide to create policies and use that to harm others and weaponize it. Because for me, it's like, okay, if this is the law and you believe it's the law, is the government implementing this law on their own families, right? That would be fair. If I saw these governments implementing these laws on their own family, then you could say, okay, this is justice because they're not just doing it to other people, they're also doing it to their own family, right? But the issue here is that one, if you believe in the Quran, that the Quran is the word of God, right? There is no contradictions in Quran. You will find no contradictions in the Quran. You will find no contradictions in the way the Prophet ﷺ lived his life in accordance to the Quran. Now, are we debating that is the Islam the truth, or are we debating aspects of Islam that is, deemed negative because of the understanding that we have today? Because you have to understand that Islam is a continuation of religions. We believe in the Torah, we believe in the Zabur of Dawood, we believe in the Torah of Musa, we believe in the Injil of Isa alayhi salam. We believe in all these, and we believe in the Quran the Prophet ﷺ was given to. So all these, we believe in all these books. They are our books that we have to affirm. For us to be believers, we have to affirm all these books, right? So, okay, there's a verse in the Bible. No, I don't want to go off topic. So historically, Arabs in that time, and universally at that time when the Quran came down, the Greeks were beating their women. Yeah. The Hindus were burning the women alive. Yeah. And the Christians, women had no right for divorce. They would take, if her husband died, her husband could own the woman as property, collateral, right? This is also in the Arab country. The woman the Christian woman whose husband died could not inherit her husband. Right? Now, all these injustices were happening at the time. We have to understand things in perspective, right? What was going on in that time in that line. In England, in the 18th century, they actually thought that the Indian women were barbaric because they wore their saris because they showed their bellies, right? The English, who were more, in the 18th century, they were more, modest in their dress. They would even cover with the hijab. They wore dresses and they were covered hijab. They actually were more modest than the Arabs who Islam came to, right? So these Arabs Islam came to used to go around the Kaaba naked, right? This is how free these people were liberally. But they chose Islam. Here's the word, choose. Like people choose democracy today, right? You have a choice who to vote for, right? So historically, women were being abused, and Islam is the only religion that came to stop all this and gave women inheritance right, who gave women the right to keep their own money. Now we can debate and say, okay, today age, we're in a democratic country, society's changed. So we're now looking back at the people who lived here before us and the verses that came down to them, and they which was part of their lives, because the Quran is not an empty book. It came down as an example of people who were living this. Right? Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam divorced He divorced a woman, purely because automatically he didn't even ask the man for a divorce from him, because he beat her, right? He beat her and he broke her arm. So he said, no way, this woman is going to stay married to you. Another Sahabiyat came to him. She said to him, I want to marry so-and-so. And he said to her, don't marry so-and-so, because she had two proposals, two offers. And she came to the Prophet and asked, who should I marry out of these two men? And he said to her, don't marry so-and-so because he's poor, right? He doesn't have much. And don't marry this so-and-so because he beats his women. Right? Stay away from that type of man. Now, the verse in the Quran, I'm not going to dispute. That is something from God. I don't believe that I'm here to argue about what God said. He said it, full stop. Now, you ask me personally, if a man was to beat me, do I know my rights as a Muslim and what to do in that situation? Because a man doesn't have to be a Muslim to beat you.
Fatima, why are you a Muslim?
He can have.
Why are you a Muslim?
So I studied religion. I was actually very interested in religion. I was a top student.
You studied religion?
Yeah, I've studied aspects.
Which part of it?
So women, especially women.
Women especially in Islam.
Yeah.
Can I ask Fatima a question?
But that's not why. That is one of the things that came to me, right? But the main thing that for me personally, is that I had a free life. I wasn't controlled by my parents. I wasn't stopped from living my life. So I got to experience the world. I got to experience the democratic world. I got to experience the Christian world. And I'm very open-minded. Till today, I have friends from all different ethnic religions and ethnicities, right? So I got to experience all these aspects. Islam actually rang a bell for me, and it was the truth for me. There's certain things I struggle with to do today, right? As a Muslim. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up Islam. I'm not going to give up this truth for the sake of my struggle and my emotions, that I can't understand something that is hard for me to do. Yeah. So, and I also understand that there's so many things I don't know in the Quran. Alif Lam.
Fatima, can you tell me who was since you studied the women in Islam, allow me to ask you a question, please. Do you know who's the mother of Ibrahim, the last son of the Prophet Muhammad?
The mother, Maria. Yes, Maria.
Maria the Copt. So you know her. You know her story.
Aspects of it, yes.
Yeah. Why do you think Prophet Muhammad did not free her, or her sister, or her cousin?
He married her.
Do you have proof?
I've read on it, and I've read that he married her.
No, do you have proof? Like, give me something.
I could look it up for you. I don't have it at hand. From my studies.
You can look at it. You can look for it, and so you can mute yourself. Look for it, and let me take Fatima
my
and come back to you.
Actually in boxes at the moment. I'm renovating, so I'll have to get back onto you. Hopefully, I could send that to you. When I find it
online, can't you find something online?
I don't know, because I actually read it from a book, so I don't know. I could Google it for sure.
Maria, while Fatima's still here, do you mind I just ask her a question?
Sure, yeah.
Fatima, so you said that Islam gave women a lot of rights for voting and having their own money.
Sarah, hold on, Sarah. I'm gonna let you in charge for 3 minutes. I just need to grab something from outside and come back. Is that okay? Sarah? Okay, Sarah is not here. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah?
Okay.
Shall I continue, yeah? So what was the role of Sayyidah Khadija before Islam happened, before the revelation to Sayyidina Muhammad, what was the role of Sayyidah Khadija in society?
She had an amazing status. She had her own business that she run, and yeah.
So before Islam, women were allowed to have their own money. They were allowed to have their own business.
Certain women were. Yeah, absolutely. In Arabia, yeah. In Arabia, but not in England. Not in England, you couldn't do that. At that time, you couldn't. That's why you had the feminist movement, and the feminist movement actually supported that for women to come out into workplace.
I think, I mean, my problem with the sort of feminist argument for Islam is I think that you need to look at, so any law, any rule, I mean, even as a pharmacist, my job is as a pharmacist, we look at what we had before and then what change is brought on by whatever it is that you're applying, right? So if you look at Islam and you say, okay, well, what did Islam change? What did it make better? What did it make worse? If the role of women in society before Islam is that they already can have their own money, they already can have their own business, then what role did Islam play in the region that it was revealed?
Well, the Islam didn't just come to women and to improve women's life. It came for both women, men, and children. It also gives children's rights, the right to be breastfed, the right to be given a good name, the right to be taken
women didn't breastfeed before Islam
and educated. I don't believe the Arabs were doing that. A lot of the Muslims who came to Islam actually got taught how to read.
Why we are talking about breastfeeding?
Because I was asking a question of, but basically what Fatima said earlier was that, Islam brought women rights to have their own money, to inherit, to vote. So my question to her was, okay, so what was the role of Sayyidah Khadija before Islam? So before Islam was revealed, what was her role in society? So we agreed that she had a great role in society. She had her own business. She had her own money before Islam was revealed. And so what positive did Islam bring to women's rights?
This is from God. This is from God. The fact that Khadija, she came from a background Ahl al-Kitab. She came from Ahl al-Kitab background. So this is something God had given, but men don't always give.
So she was Christian?
No, she wasn't. She believed she was monotheistic.
Ahl al-Kitab from where? She was Jewish?
No, her family, her background, yeah. So it could be Ahl al-Kitab, Waraq bin Nawfal had scriptures because the books of old were taken apart and they were changed.
What was her religion before Islam?
I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
So she wasn't from Ahl al-Kitab?
I said she came, yeah. Her background was, so she had a cousin. Her family.
She was or she wasn't?
Her background was from Ahl al-Kitab, the people that she came from historically, her family. She had a cousin called Waraq bin Nawfal who was from the Ahl al-Kitab. So I don't know whether it was the Torah or the Injil, and I don't want to make false claims on something like this. So I say Ahl al-Kitab for that, just to be safe for myself.
But if you say Ahl al-Kitab, we need to know what her religion was, right?
No, her religion is, I'm not talking about her religion here. And I don't believe she was a pagan anyway. I don't believe she was a pagan. So that's something different, completely different. I don't believe she was a pagan. I don't believe she idol worshipped, that she did any of the things. I think that's what attracted her to the Prophet.
I still don't get the breastfeeding part though. And actually, Fatima, since you're talking about
I was saying that the rights that Islam came with, it's not just for women, because it's not just about women's rights, right? It's also for men, and it's also for children. Right? Because it starts with children, and if the children don't have a right upbringing and they don't have the structure of being kind and be treated gently and being hugged and kissed and given their rights, then they develop to be tough people who are harsh. And desert people were that. Arabs were living in a harsh environment. It doesn't excuse their behavior. I'm not excusing that, but that's what they said. This is what they did. There's pagans, they beat their women. It was natural for them to beat their women, and it was natural for their women to sleep with 10 other men if they came from a prestigious background. Yeah, the mushrikeen practiced this. So the elite would practice this. So if I came from an elite background, my husband, would let me sleep with 10 other, well, not my husband, I could sleep with all the privileged men who were lining up with me, and then I could choose the father of my child after sleeping with 10 men. I could choose the father of my child. Now that is a right against that's taking the right of the husband.
10 men.
The
10 men.
taking the right. No, that's just. I'm just saying 10. I don't know the numbers they were actually doing, so I'm not going to say. It's an example. 10. It could have been 4. It could have been 5, but it was more than one.
I wonder what kind of STDs they had back before Islam.
Well, I don't know. See, Islam.
I think we should know if this kind of
Islam is a continuation. Islam is a continuation. Sorry to cut you off. When you say Islam, it's not just the Quran. When you say Quran, it separates. When you say Islam, it's a complete way of life. It's taking the book of David, the book of Moses, the book of Jesus, and the book of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given to. All of them, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon them all. Right?
Fatima, I want to move on to other guests. I think I understand how passionate you are about your religion, which is okay. But I mean, just one thing that you should know: there's a hadith, and it's hadith 113 in Sahih Bukhari, and it's also narrated by Ahmad, Sunan, and Al-Hakim. So this is what it says. It's not permissible for a woman to dispose anything of her wealth if her husband is responsible for her. So your money will be your husband's money. He's in charge. If he's taking care of the home, you have no saying. And this is a hadith that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. But let me, if you can stay longer, please stay so that you can comment. But I want to move to Apostate Adam and then